Darren. I am so glad to be back and so glad to just be showing you guys what I've been working on. I've been posting pictures on Tumblr, but I got a bit discouraged because of the microphone thing. Side note, I moved it a bit. Like, if you could see where it is, you would probably laugh, but hopefully the keyboard noises won't be as terrible. We'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys like the full view of what I've been doing, just because taking screenshots you just miss a lot of the details, which frustrates me. This is the royal quarters. It is part of kind of a whole complex, as you can see. I did swap out the door on this. I had the other door, but I didn't like it there. Excuse you. No. Judy is trying really hard to eat my food. Stay tuned for her getting sprayed with a water bottle. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys really quick what I've been doing with the royal family's lot. This, of course, is just where they live, like, residentially. And that's just because I don't like having big giant lots where all the community spaces are as well. It would have to be a home business because all the courtiers would be there, and it's just like a whole thing. Why are you not? This is what I want. Thank you. So yeah, because my whole thing with the Darren is it's almost like Versailles, where everybody lives at the castle or within the city. Like, that's just how it is. But I don't want everybody all intermingling. That's too many Sims to manage. So the middle ground is lots of community lots. It's all attached via lot adjuster. Yay. So yeah, let's just go right on through showing you what we've got. This is our main entryway, which, let's see, I filmed this like 6 or 7 times. I'll think my sound is fixed, and then, spoiler alert, it won't be, but as I've been doing it, I've been making corrections and making things ever so slightly nicer, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, the cats want to get in on the nonsense. Cool. So this is our entryway. As you can see all the way up to the 3rd floor, which has been improved, but we will explore that later. For now, this is our entryway. Let's put the walls down, just the doors on the way. That's Liza Lillette hanging out. Lots of stairs. I just put wardrobes there because I really didn't know what else to do with that space, because it's kind of awkward, this entry space, and I didn't really want to put like murals and things on the walls because I've only got so many big tapestries. So yeah, over here is the living rooms portion of the castle. This is kind of like where guests would come hang out and do whatever it is that guests would come and do. I don't know. They got a living room. I gotta fill the space somehow. I'm really happy with how this room turned out. Lots of the main areas have red because that is the royal family's color, even though it might not be the preference for like their personal likes or dislikes. I did go ahead and add some logs and ash in this fireplace just because it's driving me nuts that it wasn't there, but yeah, overall kind of a boring room, kind of basic, but I like it. I'm satisfied with it. It's going to serve its purpose. That's all we can ask, right? Aren't Blumenthal here? I have added, so I didn't have rugs that really worked here, so what I did is I went in and I used carpet to make like runners. I've also gone in and added some just like armor and these like urns just to like fill the hallway space out, because I have such a hard time decorating hallways. You don't even know. Like, it's too hard. It's too hard. Other annoying thing that I've discovered is these doorways right here, for whatever reason, they're just like blue screen of death, but I love the doors, so I'm leaving it. This is the ladies' sewing room. So we've got like pots on the floor, I don't know, looms, we got sewing necessities, little hand loom there. Just lots of kind of pretty dainty things, Art Nouveau paintings that I love. That is actually a Max's plant that like fits in really well, so I'm here for it. Big old tapestries on the wall. This is just kind of like where they would come and hang out and gossip and what have you. I don't know. It just seemed like a good place to have. Maybe the men hang out in the other room and the women hang out in this one, or that's like almost a public-y area nobody uses. I mean, given the decoration, we're hoping people are using it, but I aren't. how are you doing? He is so Meadow Thayer's son. Yeah, spoiler alert, Art Blumenthal is related to Meadow Thayer. As in, she's his mom. It did say they came from peasant stock. Don't judge me. I love looking out the windows. This is like such a weird thing, but like I really do genuinely like looking out the window and seeing like the neighborhood. I'm gonna be so happy when it's full. Excuse me, Katinka. Katinka also looks a lot like her grandmother. I'm amazed nobody's picked up on this, honestly. Like, as soon as I started posting pictures of them, I'm like, someone's gonna pick out that there is some Meadow Thayer in that background. But at the time, I hadn't really, like, Adiron is an old neighborhood. I've had it for, like, 5 years, give or take. Maybe longer, oh my gosh. It's been a minute. So, at the time, I did have starter townies, and they phased out, but they were there. And Meadow has just really strongly imprinted on the neighborhood. She was probably one of the last ones to marry in. Anyway, this is Arndt's study. He likes the color purple, so that's why he's dressed in purple, but also why his study is pretty purple. He also had a lot of respect for his mama and is a bit of a softer dude, so that's why there's like some pretty tapestries, things like that. It's just a pretty basic room. Like, he's not gonna have a lot of people, even though there's like a couch and stuff, and everybody's in here to judge that specific tapestry. That's why they all came running. Yeah, it's just a pretty basic room. It annoys me to no end that, like, if I don't have ceilings on, that is placed perfectly, but with ceilings on, like, everything clips, but I don't want to fix it. That's a working computer. That's actually a... is it Mashuno? Whatever that game is. Yeah, lots of purple books. This is... it overlooks, you know, pretty decent view of the garden. Basic, functional, it'll work. Over here is our kitchen, which is gloriously decorated, if I do say so myself. I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. I also just love decorating kitchens, so, yeah. Why you like this? I hate, for whatever reason, that, like, counters just decide that they no longer have to cooperate. Like, who raised you? This is not how you should be behaving. Fine, I'll cheat. No shame. But yeah, just lots of like little deco items hanging out on the counters. And then we come over to their private family dining room. There's lots of these flags I used to like symbolize the monarchy, so they're all over the neighborhood. Again, lots of red tones, because this is like, even though this is their private quarters, this is still a public area, so lots of reds. These portraits, I imagine, are like, because obviously Arndt was full-on peasant rebellion, so he's not gonna have family portraiture kind of things, but I imagine he could have had some made to represent, like, Blumenthal's way back in the day, as almost like Tudors did propaganda. I could see Arndt being very, very into propaganda. No! Leave the cat alone. The dog was very shocked and horrified that she got sprayed with water. But it's effective. So yeah, I can imagine having commissioning portraits done just to kind of make the family seem like they're a bit fancier than they were, even though they did not at all come from power. But it's cool. I had a lot of fun decorating the tables to be like fancy. So I was gonna point out that I use these really cool sets, but apparently they're just like being invisible on me. You can kind of see, like, look, you can see that it's there. Hello, Sid. Why are you being so grumpy? What is happening? Basically they're these lazy table things that like set themselves. I haven't actually used them before, so I was... maybe like they go invisible and they're there randomly. I don't know. I'm kind of upset right now that they're doing this, but yeah, so they do place settings. Makes it easier. This would be for Art and Bernique, and obviously this is for the children. We're gonna ignore the fact that I'm so annoyed that that's not working. This is the backyard, which right now obviously looks like it just cuts off to nothing. That's because it's gonna extend all the way down, but for now, this is just their portion of it. It's got lots of flowers, a telescope, a pantry, you know, basic stuff. Moving up, I actually added this 2-story statue because it just seemed so plain, and especially with that opening area, like something needed to be there. And so I was like, why not one of these statues that I have and never use? So there you have it, dude hanging out. It kind of ruined my sightline because I had this like really pretty setup here, but I'm not mad about it. Plus, I still have lots of stairs, which I highly encourage if you have lots of Sims and multiple stories, all the stairs. All the stairs. Like, I have 3 staircases to get to the 2nd level and 4 to get to the 3rd level because Sims are kind of annoying. Let's go over here. Things are clipping. That's fantastic. Oh, that's cute. The ceiling just doesn't want to be there anymore. That's fine. We don't need to do a full-on lod tour like I'm a professional over here. That's fine. We have another chest table over here. This is just kind of like an open sitting-y area. I have changed out. I had rugs here that matched this one, but they were annoying me, so I swapped them out. Again, just kind of really boring, but I just don't know what to do with these random hallway-y spaces. This is our nursery. This is where Lizolet is, and obviously if they have any more children, this is where they will start out. It's in reds just because, you know, they're children. Red's family color. Yeah, I love these beds because toddlers can use them. Totally random note. I think they're cloned originally from like dog beds also. I'm so sorry if you can hear Judy eating her bone, but she's being quiet, so. But yeah, I think there's a clone for dog beds because toddlers can use them on their own. Super duper handy. And then just another bed. Plain, basic, works. Over here is Laura's room. She is the 2nd youngest child. She really likes, she rolled Maritime, and so in my head that's like built-ins. I think I've said this a couple times, but I love this bed and I'm so happy to use it. Plus, as you can see, the walls don't quite meet it, and the footprint doesn't match that anyways, so she can actually walk through here and use this chamber pot. So thrilled. She likes the color purple, just like her dad, and so I've got just like a simple setup. It's similar to her dad's, like with the bookshelves and stuff. They had the same rug before I changed it. As you can see, I killed the dead space because it was driving me nuts, but yeah, it's not a super fancy room because she is still very young, and she's an interesting one. She didn't exist before in Adiran because we did the 15-year-ish jump. So she didn't exist before, and she doesn't see a lot of use for girls. Like, she's very of the mindset, she's like, my mom finally had a son, she needed a 2nd son, I ruined everything, this family doesn't need any more girls, and really they didn't need any girls to begin with, they need to secure the line, blah 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 blah. Arch doesn't think that way, and neither does Bernique, but Laura has picked up on some prejudices probably from other people and just like internalized that. So she's a fun one. She's got a lot of self-loathing a little bit, and she's very determined to do what she can to be useful to the family. We'll see how she goes. She's still very young, like I said. Across the hallway we have this cute little bathroom. I don't have a ton of bathrooms just because it's not realistic in terms of medieval settings. I know this is like a medieval fantasy setting, but I still try to have some. Over here is just kind of like a little music corner. Again, nothing fancy, just kind of filling the space in. These rooms don't have anything in them because I am going to move a servant in just so they don't have to cook their own meals or clean. Because there are trait mods now that make sure that they don't do that, but obviously I haven't made the servants or picked out the servants, so they're kind of empty for now. We'll see. Going to the 3rd floor, I finally filled this area out. The first 2 times I filled it, it was empty, and I was like massively ashamed of it, but I've just randomly put a bunch of statues, and it at least looks a little bit better than it did, and then this popping up makes me very happy, but I just don't know how to decorate spaces like this. They're just awkward and weird. Hallways are not my friend. And as you can see over here, I didn't even bother putting doors. Like, if they reach the point where they have a whole bunch more servants, or my other thought is if they have more children, potentially we would be using like these rooms, and then servants would go here. I don't know, but they're there if we need them. Salome's room is here. I don't know why I said it questioningly, but this is her room. It's It's one of the first ones I decorated. She actually did exist in Deuteron. She is their firstborn. And I love Salome. I think she's so interesting and so fascinating. She's a romance sim. You know, she likes fur. She's very feminine. She also likes built-in stuff. So she's got like this built-in sitting area, this built-in table. She fully expects to, you know, be married off to another kingdom, which, side note, I don't know a ton of historical Sims 2 players, but like, it would be very interesting to do some sort of crossover type of thing, like, maybe not with Salome, but with someone, to like, one of the princesses marrying into somebody else's game. Like, I'm very interested in that idea, so if you do play a historical Sims 2 game, definitely reach out to me, because I have thoughts, and I think it would be cool. Mostly, I see a lot of Sims 4 people do it, and like, it made me think that like, we could definitely do that within our community too, and probably a little bit easier, but I digress. This is her room. She's got, you know, all of the luxuries you could think of. She's probably gonna be going to the convent soon, or the cloisters, basically. Thank you, Judy, thank you. Yeah. This recording absolutely needed you shaking your rope. It did. You're right. You were a genius. She's been asleep all day, and I was like, I might as well record something immediate. Oh, attention? You're talking? Rope. She sounds very vicious, but she's just a big idiot. I just lost my train of thought, didn't I? Didn't I? I just did. I did. Oh, cloisters. So, Sims between like 16, 17, and then when they hit majority, so when they grow into adult life status, everyone, doesn't matter if you are a peasant, merchant, noble, royal, every single person has to go live in the cloisters for at least 2 years, just depending on what time you go in. Obviously, there's some allowances made. Some people will probably only be there for a year, but the reason behind that is he came from nothing. Like, he was an indentured servant, which is even kind of lower in the totem pole, and he wants to make sure that resentment doesn't boil up, so he wants everybody to understand the importance of hard labor, to relate to people outside of their classes as well, just to understand that everybody's human, simish, whatever. And I like the idea, and I wanted to also make sure that they can make friends and stir up trouble and that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to do with my teen Sims, like when they're almost adults but not quite. Anyways, so this is Arndt and Bernique's room. I'm forever going to be happy that I was able to use this bed surround. I've just been holding on to it for dear life and never used it, and I was like, wait a minute, this room's gigantic. I can use it. Love it. Their room is not really in their personal preferences. I believe Arndt likes purple, and I think Bernique likes dark blue. But again, it's almost kind of a royal, public but not public room, and so it made sense to do more of the reds and some golds and keep it fancy. They also have a little throne room style toilet. Love that. And then over here is Isidore's room. That is the only son currently of the royal family. He's very studious, very serious. He likes the color gray because all of the children apparently just want to spite me. His room was kind of a challenge to decorate, but I think it turned out okay. Like, I still wanted it to look like a younger kid's room, but understand, like, I put the little dragon lights and stuff, but understandably, he's been pushed to grow up a lot sooner than other kids might have because he's the only son. There's a lot riding on this kid, and I think he's managing it well enough, but I try to keep that in mind. There's so many chess tables in this freaking household. Anyways, the last room we have is Katinka's room. She was also in the original De'Aaron, but she was like brand new baby, so I really don't know a ton about her. She also is a romance sim, which was interesting to have their two oldest daughters be romance sims. And I mean, I'm not really sure about her. I think she's a lot more frivolous than Salome, and she also is definitely a lot more frivolous than younger sister Laura. She also looks the most like a Blumenthal, which, aka, Blumenthals either have really kind of craggy features because the created Sims I had for them, they were minors and they had just like really kind of rougher features, or they look like Meta Fair. Whereas Salome really pulls in a lot of Bernique's features, which would be, I believe, Ethan Barrett, the townie, and he married one of my Kenton Sims, so probably not Arndt's favorite thing, but yeah, a lot of the kids do not, they either look like Barretts, Kentons, and Laura kind of looks like a Blumenthal. Lizelette's still very young, but she's got the nose. And yeah, so I think that's interesting that Katinka's like kind of the only one who's got those throwback looks. She looks the most like her father. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by animals. This is just the way. But yeah, like, I don't know too much about how Katinka's gonna be. I know she likes music. She wants to be a rock god, obviously, so that's why I put a lot of different musical instruments in here. She's just kind of, I think, very flighty, very kind of vain, feminine. Like, I don't think she really thinks about the future. Like, if anything, I would say she would be very much just a pleasure secondary sim, because she's got that vibe of just like, she just wants to have fun. She doesn't take anything very seriously. Salome is also a road sim, like, let's be fair, and I think she's more interested in athletics, but she's still kind of understands her position. She might not be happy about it, but she strikes me as someone who's going to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to like being flirtatious and things like that. Like, she is aware that she's a princess, that she, before her brother was born, was literally the heir apparent. And she actually, I just realized, does have Arndt's eyes, but the rest is all her mama. That's her mom right there, who is stunning. But yeah, it's like, Salome just is a bit more serious. And all of the kids, like, Arndt does not let them get away with nothing. Like, oh, I forgot she does have a Blumenthal nose. Okay. Well, someone has it. Anyways, yeah, this is their home. That's really all I have to say. I'm sorry this is so random and disjointed. The dog distracted me, and I've got the attention span of a gnat, so never goes over well. But I just wanted to show you guys kind of what it looks like. We're gonna do a couple more lot tours. I'm gonna keep building. Like I said in my last video, my goal this year is to be able to actually play Adiran in 2021. Fingers crossed, but there's a lot of Sims, so we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely leave likes, comments, opinions, thoughts, whatever you feel like in YouTube land. It is very late. I can't even think of the words. Subscribe. Yes, that was a word I was thinking of. Click the bell. Whatever floats your boat, and I will see you in the next one.